Nearly every plastic bag begins as a fossil fuel. A quote from the Center for International Environmental Law, also known as SEAL, explained the first of many problems with plastic bags. Typically, the first contact a human will have with a plastic bag is in the grocery store, which will then be carried out into their house. Then those bags will be disposed of without a second thought of what happens next. People don't often realize the aftermath of the plastic bags once they leave their home. Once a plastic bag leaves a house and is thrown away, they are normally transferred to landfills with other trash. When these bags hit the landfills, they don't always stay there. Since these bags are light in weight, it is easy for them to travel to different areas. Some of these areas happen to include creeks, lakes, the ocean, and even to animals. Because of this, I believe that plastic bags should be banned from stores, and alternatives like reusable cloth bags should be required. To support this claim, I have included facts from different articles that provide logical reasonings behind the overuse of the everyday plastic bag. Let's begin with a little background of the plastic bag and how it came about. In 1965, the Swedish company Celloplast created the first ever plastic bag, averaging about 1 cent per bag to create. Designed by engineer Sten Gustaf, the new bag began to grow interest among the people in Europe. By the year 1979, plastic bags were being used in markets in Europe, and they were later on introduced in the United States. Jump ahead to 2018, a wide topic around the globe happens to be about plastic bags. But this time, it is about the reduction of plastic bag usage. Countries were beginning to realize that plastic bags were the main reasons for drainage clogging, and even began to notice the effects it had on different animals. The more damage that plastic bags began to cause, the bigger the audience it began to attract. Continuing on, as of 2012, plastics was the third largest sector of manufacturing in the United States. According to the study conducted by Scott Monger at the University of Southern California, California has been one of the leading U.S. states in its fight against the production and use of plastic bags, with many municipalities and counties adopting over 70 ordinances. This is mainly from the formation of Save the Plastic Bag Coalition, which is also known as the Coalition, in 2008. The purpose of this coalition was to present environmental reports to help fully explain the differences from switching from plastic bags to paper and reusable bags. To make their voices heard, they took their arguments to the government. In their arguments with the courts, they used Washington, D.C. as an example on how the bags could be banned from all stores across an entire state. What they did was enforce a ban on plastic bags while charging companies on paper bags to encourage them to resort to using reusable cloth bags. This was showing the courts that it was possible to have a ban on the harmful plastic bags and have a lasting impact on the world around them. Although the coalition had a strong argument and evidence to back it up, the many conflicting factors between the effects of plastic, paper, and reusable cloth bags was not enough for the courts to enforce a statewide ban on the plastic bags. Although their attempt ended in failure, Many countries within the state heard the coalition's voice and started to fight back on the amount of plastic waste they were producing. This is also a big step for the country as a whole, because other states will see the changes California is making and will reconsider the paths that they are taking and how they do their part to reduce the amount of plastic waste they are producing. However, there may be more to the solution than just reusable cloth bags. In a CNN article published in 2017, it explains how a young man by the name of Kevin Kumala, who lives on the island of Bale, has created a 100% biodegradable plastic bag. The bag was made completely out of the original recipe of cavassa starch, vegetable oil, and organic raisin. Cavassa is a common vegetable found throughout Indonesia, and because of its abundance, it is fairly cheap to come by. This bag looks and feels exactly like a normal plastic bag, but when it is placed in lukewarm water, the bag disintegrates in a matter of minutes. And when completely dissolved, it can be safely consumed. Kevin said himself in an interview, quote, "I wanted to show this bioplastic would be so harmless to the sea animals that a human can drink it." Other possible solutions include bags that have been made out of upcycled materials, such as clothing and fabrics. Last year, at the Chesterfield Earth Day convention, I came across a woman that was stationed at a booth selling what seemed to be normal cloth bags. When I went to ask her about the bags she was selling, she told me that they were not only reusable cloth bags, but they were made out of upcycled fabrics that had been donated. She told me that making these bags help produce waste, such as the discarded fabrics, stay out of the landfills, along with plastic bags themselves. I still have and use this bag that I purchased that day quite often. In conclusion, the three types of shopping bags that have most commonly used are plastic bags, paper bags, and cloth bags, with each bag having their own pros and cons. With plastic bags, the pros include cheap manufacturing and low carbon emissions, but the cons include the lack of proper disposal, such as recycling, the amount of time they take to degrade in landfills, and the amount of wildlife that has ingested the harmful plastics, both before they break down and after they break down into microplastics. The pros to paper bags include their ability to decompose, and the paper bags are easy to recycle. But the cons include their high carbon emissions when being manufactured, and they are more expensive to be produced. Finally, the pros to reusable cloth bags include their ability to be used over and over again for many different purposes. But the cons to these bags is that their cost to manufacture outweighs the use the bag would be worth. Not one of these options are perfect, but it is clear to me that one greatly outweighs the other. Plastic bags. I urge everyone listening to consider cutting down not only their plastic bag usage, but their overall single-use plastic waste. While we continue to do our part with hopes that a better solution will present itself and become the answer we need. Will biodegradable, environmentally safe, ingestible starch bags become more readily available across the world and completely replace plastic bags as we know it? Only the future will tell. Thank you.